Hello students, welcome to the sixth lecture of the laws of motion. Right. There are two topics which are yet to be studied. Right. That those topics will clear it, and then we'll see the numericals. So the next topic which we have is free fall. What do we mean by a free fall? This is again a most important concept, right, taking numericals into considerations. So what exactly do we mean by a free fall? Free fall means something is just allowed to fall freely from the height. Just let's say this marker, as soon as I leave it from the height, right, it undergoes a free fall. I am not throwing it, I am just releasing it, right? So in words, if we write down, free fall means body just allowed to fall under effect of gravity. So the technical points which are to be considered here is, see, I am just releasing a body. So as soon as I release, right, the thing to be observed is initial velocity is 0. Body starts with the initial velocity. I am not throwing it, I am just releasing it. So initial velocity is 0. Free fall, it is falling from top to the bottom. So compulsory acceleration will be plus g. When the body is thrown up, right, acceleration will be minus g. In a free fall, acceleration will be plus g. So these are the two technical aspects which must be remembered in a free fall. Now, how do you calculate numericals based on the free fall? So you know there are three equations of the motion, right? V is equals to u plus at, s is equals to ut plus half at square, v square minus u square is 2as. Now how does these equations get modified under a free fall? So when an object undergo a free fall, these equations get modified as v, initial velocity is 0, acceleration is plus g, so gt, displacement s. Substitute these things here, simple, substitute this here. So u is 0, half gt square, v square, right, u square is 0, 2gs. So the equations get modified this way. Now this modified equation are helpful in solving the equations, in solving the questions which use this word free fall. In any question, in any numerical, if you find this word free fall, make sure that these two technical aspects you consider. Second thing, these equations get modified this way, right? So determining g using simple pendulum. This is a experimental topic, right? You carry out an experiment with the help of the simple pendulum. So what that experiment will be, you know simple pendulum, right? Simple pendulum means a bob which is suspended from a rigid support. This bob, when it is pulled to the one of the side at the extreme position and then released, it will undergo a oscillatory motion, right? So it will undergo a oscillatory motion in this curved path from here to here. So with the help of this pendulum, how will we calculate g? So we know that for simple pendulum, the formula is 2 pi root L by g, right? Now I want to calculate the value of g. So I will make g as a subject. To make g as a subject, right, squaring on both the sides. So when I square on both the sides, shifting g on the left hand side, so 4 pi square L by t square. So this is how I get the value of g. Now here, length of the pendulum you must know, time period you must know, and then you can calculate the value of g. So with the help of simple pendulum, you can calculate the g. Next topic we have mass and weight. Those are again very simple topics. Mass and weight. So you have been studying from the childhood what is mass and what is weight. Once again, let us revise the important points, definitions or certain things about the mass and weight. So what it will be? So the first point, mass, it is quantity of matter, the most basic definition. Mass is quantity of matter, whereas weight is gravitational pull. pull, right? Mass, it is measured with the help of beam balance, right? And weight, it is measured with the help of spring balance, right? If mass is m and acceleration due to gravity is g, then you can calculate weight as mg using this formula. This point is common for both the sides. Next, fourth, mass, it remains constant, right? You know that myself, right? My mass will remain constant wherever I go. From here, if I go to Mumbai, my mass is not going to change. If from here, if I go to moon, again the mass, the quantity of matter that is inside me, the quantity of the blood, the quantity of the bones, that are not going to change. But what will change? Weight will obviously change. Why? Because weight depends upon the gravity. So here, if we find out this remain constant, weight, it changes from place to place. Obviously from place to place, right? We have seen in the last topic that gravity changes. Even on the earth, the gravity is not constant. It changes from one place to the other place. Gravity is maximum at the poles, right? Minimum at the equator. So obviously person will feel more heavy on the poles and he will feel less heavy on the equator. So that point also we can add here. It changes from place to place. Weight is maximum at poles and weight is minimum at equator, right? So that is the difference about the mass and weight. You can write down its units also. Unit of the mass is measured in the terms of grams, kilograms, right? And weight is measured in terms of kgf, gf, or it is measured in the terms of newtons, right? Or dynes. These are absolute units, these are gravitational units, that also we have seen. So that is about the mass and weight. So here we end the theoretical part of this chapter. Next we will be doing numericals. So let us take this numerical, right? The question is given: a motorcycle of the mass 100 kg, it is running at 10 meters per second. Engine develops a momentum of 2000 Newton second. Calculate new velocity, right? So this is the question about the change in momentum, right? Velocity is changing, so change in velocity is nothing but change in momentum. We'll write down first the given data. Mass is given as 100 kg. Initial velocity u, it is given as 10 meters per second. Final velocity is to be calculated, right? And the change in momentum is given, that the engine develops momentum, so that is change in momentum, right? 2000 Newton second. Now if we use the formula of change in momentum, that is mass into change in velocity, that is nothing but final velocity minus initial velocity. Change in velocity means final velocity minus initial velocity. So this thing, substituting the values, change in momentum we know 2000, mass is 100 kg, final velocity we do not know, and initial velocity is 10. 0 0 0 0 cancel, so 20 equal to v minus 10. So final velocity will be 30 meters per second. Simple question based on the change in momentum, right? Let us take So the question given is golfer hits the ball at rest. Let us write down the given data, right? Initial velocity of the ball is 0, such that the contact between the ball and stick is for 0.1 second. Now see, ball is in the contact with the stick for 0.1 second. So there will be a acceleration, right? There will be a force acting on the ball for how much time? Time 0.1 second. So ball undergoes accelerated motion only for this much time. Then next, ball covers 400 meters in 2 seconds. So what is the final velocity attained? It covers 400 meters in 2 seconds because of this force which is acting for 0.1 second, right? It's just like you kick a football. So football remains in the contact with your leg for 0.1 second for very small interval of the time, and just after the contact is released, ball will cover some distance in some interval of the time. So based on that, we can know what is the velocity gained by the ball. So here also we'll calculate the velocity gained by the ball will be distance upon time, so that is 200 meters per second, right? Mass of the ball is given to us 50 grams. Compulsory SI unit, let it be as it is. You don't have to hurry in simplification, especially when denominators have zeros, right? Don't try to simplify, let it be as it is. In the final step you do the simplifications, then calculate the force applied. Force has to be calculated. Now we know that formula for the force is ma, right? Mass we have been given, acceleration we do not know, so let us calculate acceleration using equation of motion. So if we use v is equals to u plus at, right? Final velocity is 200, initial was 0, acceleration and time is 0.1 second. Here two times are given, so please be sure which time to use. You have to understand question very well. This time specifies the time of accelerated motion, because it is only during this interval that the ball remains in contact with the stick. So this is the interval during which motion is a accelerated motion, so that time we'll consider here. So now if we calculate acceleration, it is 2000 meters per second square, and now if we calculate force, 50 upon 1000 into 2000, 1, 2, 3, all India free, 100 newtons is the force. That is the correct answer. So here we have another question. A cricket player holds a ball of mass 100 grams by moving his hands backward by 0.75 meters. So you should visualize the question, right? He is holding a ball and he moves his hands back by 0.75 meters. If initial velocity of the ball is 108 kilometers per hour, calculate the force exerted by the player. So again, writing down the given data, the first step to solve the numericals, right? So what is initial velocity of the ball? It is given 108 kilometers per hour. As I said, compulsory SI unit, so convert this into meters per second. So kilometers per hour to meter per second, so it will be 5 by 18, right? So how much it will be? 6, right? So 30 meters per second is the initial velocity. Displacement is 0.75 meters, right? Contact for 0.75 meters, it is a accelerated motion. Acceleration here is negative because ball will come to stop. So during this distance, ball undergoes accelerated motion. So you can use this displacement for equation of motion. Then mass of the ball is given to as 100 grams. Again, to convert into kg, right? Here zeros are there, so we can simplify kg, and we have to find out the force. So again, to calculate the force, right? Mass into acceleration. Mass has been given, acceleration we do not know. To find out acceleration, we use equation of motion. Now see here, cricket player is holding a ball. So by default, it should come to your mind that his final velocity will be 0 meters per second, because ball will come to rest. So if we start with v is equals to s is equals to this equation, v square minus u square is 2as, we can use. So final velocity is 0, initial velocity is 30 square, 2 into acceleration, and displacement is 0.75 meters. So 0.75. Let us simplify. acceleration will be minus 975 upon 100 multiplied by 2, right? So if I take it 15 times, 15 5 za, right, 15 6 za, this will go 12 za, this will again go 2 za. So 600 meters per second square is the acceleration, right? Force, so force will be ma. Here we are not considering the minus sign. If you want, you can consider, right? Ball has this acceleration, hands has to apply force in the opposite direction. So whatever is the motion of the ball, exactly opposite direction we are applying the force. So we can use here negative sign ma. Once again, see, this ball is coming in this direction, but the hands are trying to stop it by applying a force in the opposite direction, right? So that is why we have put this negative sign here. However, if you don't understand the meaning of negative sign, you can just ignore. So minus 1 upon 10, acceleration is minus 600, so this will become 60 Newton is the answer. The meaning of these negative signs, they are very much important in the higher classes, standard 11 and 12, when you clear the idea of the vector is clear in your mind, right? This negative sign and all, they represents directions. However, for simplicity, even if you don't consider direction in this question, it is okay, but if you consider, it will build a basic for the higher classes. So here we have another question. A car of mass 1000 kg develops a force of 500 newtons over a distance of 49 meters, right? If the car is initially at rest, find its final velocity and time for which it is accelerated. So again, here, as you see in all the sums, we use two formulas, F is equals to ma and one of the equation of the motion. So all these questions, they are solved in two parts. One part has F is equals to ma and other part has equation of motion. So here also the same method will be used. Let us write down the given data. Mass is 1000 kg, right? Data must be represented top to bottom. I have a space crunch, so I am writing sideways, but your presentation should be very neat and clean. Force of 500 newtons, right? Force we know, mass we know, so obviously we can calculate the acceleration. So acceleration will be how much? Force upon mass. So if we calculate 500 upon 1000, so it will give me 0 0 cancel, 1 upon 2 meters per second square acceleration. Car is initially at rest, final velocity is to be calculated and time for which it is accelerated. So two things are to be calculated. Let us start. V is equals to u plus at, correct? Final velocity we don't know, time also we don't know, so we cannot use this equation. Which equation we will use? Yes, displacement is given to us 49 meters, so we can use v square minus u square is 2as. 2as, v we do not know, right? U is 0, acceleration is 1/2, displacement is 49, so final velocity is 7 meters per second. So we got the first answer. Second answer, time for which it is accelerated. Second, another equation of motion we use, right? So v is equals to u plus at, we know 7, u is 0, acceleration is 1/2 and time, so time will be 14 seconds. See, little bit complication in this sum as compared to these three parts we have. First we used F is equals to ma, then we used one equation of motion, and in third step we used another equation of motion. So numericals, right, they can be solved very easily. They have multiple steps. You have to just try, think about it, apply the equations, definitely you will get the answers. So here we have another question. Two bodies have same masses, right? Same mass. So let us take two bodies first. We have a body A, right, and we have a body B, right? Masses are same, so mass is m here, mass is m here, right? Velocity is v and 5v. This has velocity v and this has velocity 5v. We calculate ratio of their momentum. So how do you calculate ratio of their momentum? That is momentum of the A upon momentum of the B. This ratio they have asked. So we know that what is the formula for momentum? Mass into velocity. Mass into velocity, right? Simplifying further, mass of A, velocity of A, mass of B, velocity of B. Masses are same, both are having same mass, so we can cancel. Remaining is velocity upon velocity of B. So what is velocity of A? V. What is velocity of the B? 5v. So this get cancelled. 1 upon 5 is the required ratio of momentum. This is some different kind of the sum. Let us see once again. Question is, two bodies have same masses but velocity is v and 5v. So calculate ratio of their momentum and inertia. So we have been given both of them are having same mass, so let us say mass be m, velocities are given v and 5v. First thing, ratio of momentum. When they say ratio means momentum of the first body upon momentum of second body. Formula for the momentum, then substitute the values. We know that ma and mb, they're both the masses are same. Ma represents mass of the A, mb represents mass of the B, right? Same, so we can cut. Velocity of A is 5, velocity of B is 5v, so we get the required momentum. Next we have ratio of the inertia. So what will be the ratio of the inertia? Ratio of inertia, so that is inertia of A upon inertia of B. Inertia is nothing but mass, so mass of A upon mass of B. Both of them are having same mass, so here the ratio will be 1:1. It is asked in ratio form, so you write down this way. Here also you write down your answer as this way. Since they have asked answers in ratio format, this is the correct format to represent the answer. This is another question we have, right? 100 Newton act on the two bodies. So again similar type of the question, so we must bifurcate. We have two bodies, right? Both the bodies, how much force is acting? 100 newtons on A, 100 newtons on B. Both the bodies, same amount of the force is acting. Acceleration produced is in the ratio 1:2. So acceleration of the A upon acceleration of the B, that is given as 1/2. This is another thing given. Calculate ratio of their masses. So mass of A upon mass of B we have to calculate, right? Forces are same, so we can write down force on A is force on B. Mass of A into acceleration of A, mass of B into acceleration of B, substituting the formulas. So now ma upon mb we want to calculate, so rearrange the equations. Ma upon mb, you can take capital A, right? So it will be acceleration of B upon acceleration of A. A by B we know, so what will be B by A? Reverse of this, so 2/1. This is the answer. So ma is to mb is 2:1. This is the ratio of the masses. This is one of the sum which make use of the concept which you have studied in this chapter. So you can find many more questions of the similar type in your textbook, school textbooks, right? You can find it on internet. Please solve. If you find any questions difficult, doubt, you can paste them in the form of a comment below the video. Thank you.